another video to promote my book, Metadimensional, as if it would work. Anyway, so one topic I wanted to talk about, and it's important throughout the book, and it's important to pay attention to. And that topic is to stop using the term consciousness and instead use the term experience. Why? Now, the reason why is because you have to make up your mind whether you actually are serious about this topic. When you talk about consciousness, you obviously are trying to express something that is this unique experience. Of course, that's the word I prefer using, awareness, all that kind of stuff, right? You want to talk about that. But the problem is that the word consciousness doesn't mean that. Well, it means that, but it means also other things. It means, for example, it includes your identity. It includes your memories. Identity, I mean, in the sense of what you remember. And the thing is, what you remember, your identity, that's something that is not, does not belong in the same category as awareness, as experience. Why? Because there is no way to convert awareness and experience into there's no obvious way of converting that into physical processes, right? It seems like water and oil. It doesn't look like the same kind of stuff, except when you get to memory, except when you get to identity. Then you can see that if you get brain damage, then you lose memories. You change your identity. So you are talking about, when you talk about consciousness, you talk about the story of your entire life, which is maintained by your memory. And that piece is not it's not part of the thing that you're trying to describe when you talk about consciousness, unless you are actually trying to confuse, actually trying to make it sound like that you're not talking about these properties that are non-physical. You're trying to talk about, you're trying to somehow mask the fact that some properties have absolutely no way to translate into physical processes because they're not of the same nature. So whenever you use consciousness, when you're talking about your identity, you're talking about your memories, you're talking about who you were, you're talking about the stories, the meaning of the stories that describe who you are. You're not talking about this. You're mixing two categories together. You're mixing the thing that is physical and controlled by physical things, and things that are not, like awareness, like qualia, like all those kind of words to describe the things that are not physical. So when you use the word consciousness, you could use it to mean just experience, but other people won't. Other people would say consciousness is also this story that you tell about yourself and your memory and who you are and who you were in, like in previous life and all that kind of stuff. That's I call that bodily. That's physical. That's not the same stuff. So when you use the word consciousness, you just you're making it possible to to apply categories that don't match each other, and what the end result is that you cannot really isolate the things that are non-physical anymore, because you mix them all together. And now, whenever you talk about consciousness, you can immediately shift to vocabulary that is physical, because you polluted your vocabulary with something that isn't, it shouldn't be there. Like, if you want to talk about physical stuff, talk about physical stuff. If you want to talk about things like awareness, things like feelings, like how it feels, not the fact that something triggers a feeling, but the fact that there's something that's like to feel to see the color red. Redness has a property that is not described by its physical attributes. But if you talk about consciousness, you can say that there is no distinction between them, but there is. There is no distinction between the frequency of light and the feeling of light, but there is. One is the description of physical reality, the other is. Well, the truth is that as long as you talk about consciousness, you just don't know.